DevOps is one of the latest buzzwords in the IT industry. It is rising to popularity and is being adopted by many organizations because of its various benefits over traditional approaches. So, in this video, we're going to talk about the basics of DevOps and understand the DevOps lifecycle. Before we get started, I would like to address the agenda for today's session. We will start our session with a brief understanding of what DevOps is. Then, we will understand why organizations use DevOps and talk about the different phases in the DevOps lifecycle. Finally, we will conclude the session by talking about some of the benefits of DevOps. I hope the agenda was clear. Before we start with our session, if you like this video, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, to learn more about DevOps and its practices, check out Invensis Learning's DevOps certification training, which is curated for both beginners and experienced professionals. All of the necessary information is given in the description box below. Without further ado, let us get started. Our first topic is, what is DevOps? DevOps is a set of cultural concepts, practices, and tools that improves an organization's ability to create applications and services with a higher velocity, improving productivity than the traditional software development and infrastructure management methods. Now, DevOps is a collection of methods that bring together software development and IT operations. Its goal is to minimize the system's development lifecycle and continually provide high-quality software delivery. This helps organizations to provide better service to their customers and compete in the market because of this speed and efficiency. So, compared to traditional methods, DevOps brings together development and operations to improve software development and delivery efficiency, speed, and security. To explain in simple terms, teams working together to develop, produce, and deploy reliable software at a higher speed is what DevOps is all about. Through automation, collaboration, rapid feedback, and iterative improvement, DevOps principles enable software developers and the operations teams to accelerate the delivery of the products or software. The DevOps delivery method is designed to create and deploy faster and more iterative applications. This method stems from an agile approach to software development. Adopting a DevOps development method means deciding to enhance applications flow and value delivery by promoting a more collaborative atmosphere throughout the development cycle. So, I guess now you have some idea about DevOps. Now, let us understand why organizations use DevOps and the drawbacks of traditional approaches that DevOps helped. So, before DevOps, the waterfall and agile models were very prominent in software development, but these models had a few drawbacks. So, let us talk about these models first to understand the topic better. First, talking about the waterfall model. The waterfall model is a top-down sequential model for developing a system or software. It is an easy to understand and linear model. The phases in the waterfall models are defining requirements, software design, implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance. Each phase happens one after the other in sequential order. So, for example, after understanding the client's fundamental requirements, the teams will move on to the next phase and design the software or products. Next, after they design the entire project plan, only then they move on to the next phase and implement the design. So the problem here was, software development organizations that use the waterfall model had to dedicate a significant amount of time to optimize their product. That's because you can't go on to the next step unless you finish the previous one. This methodology was only appropriate for projects with well-defined requirements, which means that requirements will not alter over time. However, this is an extremely rare scenario in today's world because requirements are always changing. This is one of the drawbacks of the waterfall model. The next model is Agile model. Agile methodology is a development and testing strategy that encourages continuous iteration throughout the project's software development life cycle. Unlike the waterfall methodology, development and testing are done simultaneously. Now, while the Agile method increased development agility, it missed on operations, which had not yet caught up with Agile principles. The development process and release of the updates slowed due to a lack of coordination between developers and operations engineers. Organizations had begun to see the need for greater team cooperation and faster software delivery. So this gave rise to DevOps methodology. DevOps provided continuous software delivery with fewer and easier to fix problems, and it also provided faster problem resolution. The development and operations team work hand in hand in the DevOps methodology, which results in a healthy working atmosphere. Also, DevOps practices improved the efficiency of team members, improved communication between them, and this overall improved the profitability of the organization. This is why many organizations are increasingly adopting DevOps practices and tools. Now, let us talk about the main topic for today and understand DevOps Lifecycle. The DevOps Lifecycle is a set of automated development processes or workflows within an iterative development lifecycle. It includes continuous software development, integration, testing, deployment, and monitoring phases. The DevOps strategy promotes continuous innovation, agility, and scalability to create, test, consume, and evolve software products. It encourages experimentation, feedback, and continuous learning in order to improve goods, services, and processes. So, now let us talk about each phase one by one in detail. First phase is continuous development. The continuous development phase is a phase in which the program or software is planned and coded. The development phase includes all aspects of planning and coding, including authoring the team members with their individual tasks, deciding deadlines, tools to be used, and so on. DevOps teams aspire for rapid innovation while maintaining quality, stability, and productivity. They accomplish this by utilizing highly productive tools, automating repeated and manual tasks, and iterating in a smaller production cycle with the help of automated testing and continuous integration. Next, talking about the tools used in this phase. No DevOps tools are necessary for planning. However, some tools are required for maintaining the code or the program. Now, source code management is the process of maintaining the code. The codes written in any language are kept updated using version control technologies. Some of the most commonly used tools in this phase are Git, SVN, and Jira. Among these tools, the most commonly used tool here is Git. So let us understand a little more about what Git is and how it works. Git is a distributed version control system that helps in the development of high-quality software by providing data assurance for distributed nonlinear workflows. Let me explain this with an example. Let's say there is a project which requires multiple developers to work simultaneously on it. So Git allows each developer to keep a copy of the source code and make changes to that copy itself. So in this way, each developer can share the changes made to each other and get the feedback of the team members without the changes affecting the source code. In addition, communication between the development and operations teams is facilitated by tools like Git. When working on a major project with many contributors, it's important to maintain communication among them while making modifications to the project. The most significant reason to use Git, aside from communication, is that you always have a stable version of the code with you. Hence, Git plays an important role in succeeding at DevOps. This was about continuous development. Let us move on to our next phase, continuous testing. The testing step of the DevOps lifecycle examines the created code for errors and faults. This is where quality analysts check the program or software to ensure that the generated software is usable. The quality assurance process must be completed successfully to determine whether the software meets the client's requirements. This assures that the generated program has no defects in terms of functioning. Furthermore, in continuous testing, Docker containers are utilized to simulate the full test environment, meaning the software should work in any operating environment. A Docker container is a lightweight executable package that contains everything needed to execute a program, including system tools, libraries, runtime code, and settings, which helps to make the code work in different working environments. Some of the automation technologies used to do continuous testing are Junit, Selenium, and TestNG. Now, let us talk about a bit of Selenium and TestNG. First, talking about Selenium. Selenium is a popular open-source online application testing framework that works with all major browsers and platforms, including Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. Selenium's advantage is that it works with many programming languages and automation test frameworks, including Python, C#, Ruby, Java, JavaScript, PHP, and Perl. Selenium uses automation testing, which is often known as test automation. It uses software programs to automate the execution of test cases, compare results, and identify flaws. This procedure is repeated over and over in order to provide end users with high-quality software. Testing is an important element of software development since it reduces the likelihood of errors. Selenium does the automation testing, and TestNG generates the reports. Now TestNG, which stands for Test Next Generation, is an open-source test automation framework. TestNG is an update that provides additional capabilities such as test annotations, grouping, prioritizing, parameterization, and sequencing approaches that were previously unavailable. TestNG provides a summary that shows the failed test case and the group it was part of, and the class it belonged to. TestNG helps to manage test cases as well as generate detailed test results. With these results, the developers can repair the defects immediately after it is detected in the testing process. This was about continuous testing. Now, moving on to our next phase and talking about continuous integration. This is the most important step in the DevOps lifecycle. Continuous integration is a software development approach that requires developers to submit the source code changes regularly. The update can be done once a day or once a week. Integration or code building includes compilation and code review, unit testing, integration testing, and packaging. So, to explain in simple terms, every update and iteration is integrated to the main software to see how the software is performing. Teams can quickly spot problems, if there are any, and resolve them because they make frequent changes. Jenkins is one of the main tools used in this phase. So now, talking about Jenkins. It is an integration DevOps tool used for continuous integration and is built for both internal and plugin expansions, meaning you can integrate Jenkins with many third-party applications. What does Jenkins do is? It downloads the new code from the Git repository and prepares a build of that code. Now, build of the code means creating an executable file, whenever there is a change. This executable file can be used for testing and deploying, if there are no problems. Jenkins is an essential DevOps tool since it enables continuous integration and continuous delivery, two basic practices of the DevOps philosophy. It is compatible with most C/CD integration tools and services since it has over 1,500 plugins available for offering customized functionality during software development. So, this was about continuous integration. Now, before moving forward, if you like this video and haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, do subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss an update from the Invensis Learning channel. Also, to learn more about DevOps and its practices, check out Invensis Learning's DevOps certification training. It is ideal for individuals and enterprises that are looking to gain a comprehensive understanding of DevOps principles, knowledge, and practical skills. Invensis provides interactive instructor-led DevOps Master certification training with highly qualified, certified, and accredited trainers. Now, moving on to our next phase and talking about continuous monitoring. It is one of the most important stages in the DevOps lifecycle. Monitoring a software product's performance is critical for determining the overall effectiveness of the product's output. Developers can find general patterns and parts in the program that require more attention through constant monitoring. Continuous monitoring is an operational phase whose goal is to improve the software application's overall efficiency. Furthermore, it keeps track of the app's performance. Some of the prominent tools used in this phase are Splunk and Nagios. So first, talking about Splunk. Splunk is a software platform that allows searching, analyzing, and displaying machine-generated information obtained from IT infrastructure and business websites, apps, sensors, and devices. It creates graphs, alerts, dashboards, and visualizations by collecting, indexing, and correlating real-time data in a searchable container. Now, Splunk enables simple access to data throughout the whole enterprise, allowing for quick diagnoses and solutions to various business issues. Next, talking about Nagios. The Nagios tool helps in continuously monitoring systems, applications, services, and business processes. Nagios is a server-based monitoring system that operates as a daemon or service. It executes plugins on the same server regularly, contacting hosts or servers on your network or the internet. One of the applications of Nagios is The teams are notified through email or SMS if something unusual happens or if there are any problems. This was about the continuous monitoring phase. Now, let us talk about the next phase, continuous feedback. This phase is important because it determines the effect of each release on the user experience. By assessing the outcomes of the software's activities, the application development is constantly enhanced. This is accomplished by establishing a key phase of continual feedback between operations and the development teams of the present software applications. This phase helps understand what are areas of improvement and the features liked and not liked by the clients, which helps in the improvement of the next iteration. Continuity is critical in DevOps because it eliminates the stages that are not required for the software. Now, let us move on to our next phase, continuous deployment. Continuous deployment stage ensures the products are deployed smoothly, without impacting the application's performance. This technique eliminates the need for planned releases and speeds up the feedback system, allowing developers to respond to concerns faster and more accurately. In addition, through configuration management, containerization solutions help in continuous deployment. In the continuous deployment phase, configuration management is quite important. It includes establishing and maintaining the app's functional requirements consistently. Popular DevOps tools used in this phase include Ansible, Puppet, and Chef that help execute quick deployment of new code. Let us talk a bit more about these tools. First, Puppet. Puppet is an open-source system configuration, deployment, and server management DevOps tool that leverages declarative programming. It is subdivided into reusable modules that enable quick setup of pre-configured servers and is cross-platform compatible. In addition, it has a master-slave architecture, and has an intuitive user interface for real-time reporting, node management, and various other functions. Next, talking about Ansible. Ansible is a free and open-source DevOps solution for configuration management, automation, and orchestration. It lets you deploy multi-tier applications easily and quickly. Its playbooks, which is basically a blueprint of the automation tasks, are written in YAML with minimum commands, so it is easy to understand the working of Ansible. This was about continuous deployment. Now, moving on to our next phase and talking about continuous operations. Continuity is a significant aspect in DevOps in reducing phases that frequently distract development, take longer to uncover errors, and result in a better version of the product. This phase includes monitoring each of the phases of DevOps Lifecycle and IT operations. This phase ensures the health, performance and reliability of your application is up to date. All DevOps operations are built on a foundation of consistency and total automation of the release process, allowing the company to continually reduce its overall time to market. This was about continuous operations. Now, I guess you have some idea about the different phases in the DevOps lifecycle. So let us move on to our next part and understand the advantages of DevOps and why organizations are increasingly adopting DevOps practices. First benefit is improved collaboration and communication. DevOps includes a significant cultural transformation that eliminates communication barriers and allows people to cooperate and share resources more effectively. Furthermore, the most effective DevOps team members are those who recognize the need for collaboration. Second is reduced time to recovery. DevOps approaches help in reducing the overall efficiency effect of bottlenecks, rollbacks, and deployment failures. However, when mistakes do occur, it takes less time to recover from them. DevOps approaches help in shortening the development cycles, helps reduce the time taken to detect errors and publish new versions more often. Third is reliability and scalability with less risk. DevOps allows teams to deploy new software in a distributed context while securing current on-premises data fastly. It's crucial to maintain dependability during a busy schedule. Under additional pressure, processes and systems may become more challenging. That is why it is critical to design a complete plan that focuses on stability, scalability, and the capacity to sustain further expansion. Next is cost savings. DevOps efforts create innovations that add value to the company and save money on maintenance and upgrades by avoiding needless investment and reducing project complexity and overruns. A complete DevOps strategy, in theory, may help a company reduce expenses and boost profitability. These were some of the benefits of DevOps methodology. I would like to conclude the session by saying that the DevOps process involves business users, developers, test engineers, security engineers, and system administrators. All work with a common goal to focus on meeting client needs. To effectively deploy code more often while keeping your systems running, you must be able to monitor any changes in your environment accurately. So, with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. Comment your thoughts in the section below. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, never to miss an update from the Invensis Learning channel. Also, to learn more about DevOps and its practices, check out Invensis Learning's DevOps certification training. It is ideal for individuals and enterprises that are looking to gain a comprehensive understanding of DevOps principles, knowledge, and practical skills. Invensis provides interactive instructor-led DevOps Master Certification training with highly qualified, certified, and accredited trainers. All of the necessary information is given in the description box below. Thank you. Have a nice day.